Where have you snuck off to this time, Kara? I go around the corner for just a few minutes, and when I come back, you vanish into thin air. Explain yourself. I swear I can't let you out of my sight for a single second.
Explain myself? What are you talking about, Joyce? You told me you wanted me to do some quick shopping for you, so I'm doing just that. You know, like you asked me to?
Emphasis on the word quick. You've been at the store for ages at this point. It would have been fast if I'd gone myself. Oh, you're just as unreliable as ever. I don't know why I even bother with you. Will you just hurry home already so you can stop slowing me down? The world does not stop and start at your convenience if you haven't realized.
Sorry, I just wanted to help in any way I can. And I swear to you up and down I'm doing my best. It's just a bit busy today, so getting around the store isn't exactly easy.
Hush now. I don't want any excuses that all boil down to your best not being good enough. We got more important matters than your blunders to discuss. Like the wedding. Cecilia finally decided on a day for the reception. Isn't it wonderful?
Really? Oh, that is wonderful news. You're right. I'm really happy for her. Did they decide on a venue too?
She chose the Golden Hotel, if you can believe it. It's a super fancy place that's supposed to be impossible to book, but Cecilia ended up knowing someone who works under the concierge. How amazing is that?
Oh, wow. Talk about lucky indeed. I'm so excited to see it for myself.
My, I can just feel my heart fluttering. That girl is the spitting image of how I looked when I was her age, you know. Consider yourself fortunate that you're not burdened with being the kind of bombshell of a goddess that she is, and that I have plenty of experience being.
Right. Lucky me.
I mean, it's certainly not easy being a pretty young thing, unable to walk down the street without captivating the hearts and minds of all. Not to mention you have to endure an onslaught of countless endowed suitors willing to give you a girl's best friend. Which is diamonds, by the way. I'm sure that answer escaped you, too.
That's a really famous song from a really famous movie, but okay. At any rate, I understand that I can't compare to Cecilia. I promise you don't need to hammer that point anymore. On the other hand, I am married to your son, so putting me down as someone who can't find a good suitor is a little, degrading to him too? Doesn't it seem a little backwards and self-loathing to be so scornful?
Scornful? Girl, if you didn't intend to be judged the same way I judge my own flesh and blood, you shouldn't have dared to marry into my family. Besides, you're acting as if my intention was for my son to marry a common woman like yourself. I was left speechless when Marcus brought you to my house and told me you were engaged. I'll have you know. The feeling was nothing short of being positively mortified, but I've since sucked it up and accepted this grim fact, for which I say you're welcome.
Gee, thank you so much.
You and Cecilia as equal women? Well, whiplash is a dangerous thing. Much better to just establish a hierarchy the way all societies do, even beasts.
I see. Well, I'm more interested in what Marcus has to say about me than your system, and he thinks I'm rather cute.
Cute? Don't kid yourself. When my son calls you cute, he means it in the way us humans get enamored with some rare exotic creature. Though even that turn of phrase might be a little generous for you. Believe me, when I first met Marcus and Cecilia's father, my first husband, I was absolutely head over in heels for him, and he was the same for me. But things, of course, soured, and by the end, we despised each other. I'm glad he had the good graces to die before he ever laid eyes on you. Otherwise, you might have made him drop dead before all the heart issues did.
That sounds to me like you were just in an unhappy marriage, and now you're taking it out on me, doesn't it?
Believe me, Kara, when you get to my age and you've seen what I've seen, you'll be hard-pressed to find a marriage that isn't unhappy. If you're lucky, Marcus will go blind in his old age and won't be able to see how hideous you'll become.
I mean, I'd rather he see me for what I am than have him be unable to read the paper or drive around freely.
Well, we'll just see how intent you are on aging gracefully. when your body does what a woman's body always does and starts to betray her. Believe me, it's all fun and games until someone starts saying things about how you don't look as young as you used to. That's when you'll start to feel the real rage.
Okay, I guess. I'll keep that in mind, although I don't think all that spite is the anti-aging solution you're looking for.
Oh, well, anyways, enough of this vexation. We've got more important matters to discuss. As my sweet Cecilia is to be married soon, I need you to understand that I have my plate rather full with making sure this wedding is absolutely perfect. Perfection takes effort and time, so although it pains me to admit, the burden of upholding the house until this is done is going to fall squarely on your shoulders.
All right, I suppose that makes sense, and I'd like to help in any way I can. Would you mind explaining to me what you actually, want me to do?
My God, it's like you were born yesterday. Let me spell it out for you. You're going to do all the cooking and cleaning and laundry and all that nonsense. Anything that needs to be done, you're doing it. Got it?
All right. That sounds pretty similar to what I've been doing this whole time, so sure. It's not like I get any help from you or anyone else besides Marcus anyways. Is that all?
You're impetuous as ever, I see. The way I see it, you should be able to take care of the housework like this with ease, as housewives are meant to do. Do you think I'll let you marry my son for your looks or your smarts? Certainly not. You're here to do my bidding, and unless you want to be on the street, you'll stay that way.
That's low even for you. I know you're pretty, traditional. I just figured that wives being indentured servants was at least a little bit below your standards.
Oh, boo-hoo, dry your tears on the pages of that thesaurus you must have in your other hand. I'm the one who should be sobbing here, having to call a pathetic thing like you my daughter-in-law. It's absolutely humiliating. I wouldn't mind your insolence if only you were even just the tiniest smidge more adorable. But you know what they say about polishing? Well, you know.
You do realize how awful it feels to be called the things you call me, right? Do you care even the slightest how hurtful you're being by comparing me to some stain on your family?
I hadn't used that one yet, but honestly, that's quite fitting, thank you. I'll just have to add it to my Rolodex of appropriate degradation for you, and I'm sorry. Do you honestly think I care even the slightest about your feelings? Cara, I really couldn't be bothered to care about you in the slightest, and I guarantee that if you were in my position, you would feel the exact same way.
Maybe. Or maybe if I was you, I would be able to see how hard my daughter-in-law was working to make me happy.
I'm sorry. Am I reading this right? This is what it looks like for you to work hard to please me? Oh, that has to take the cake. I've never heard something so self-congratulatory in my entire life.
Whether or not you want to accept it, I have been trying my damnedest to make this work. If not for you, then for Marcus. It's becoming clear to me, however, that no matter how much effort I put in, you're never going to see it as mattering.
All right, then, enlighten me. What exactly is the output of all this effort and hard work you suppose yourself to be doing? What am I supposed to be seeing here?
Boy, where do I even begin? I wake up at the crack of dawn, or earlier, because of you rummaging through the house at night to make sure the house is just as spotless as you desire every day. Oh yeah, and I constantly change plans or what I'm cooking because I need to fit your exact specifications or you'll throw a fit.
Anything that can't fit my model of excellence deserves to have a fit thrown at it, darling. So I'm supposed to be touched by the sight of a frumpy mooch of a woman living in my house, flailing about and trying to make herself useful. I'm impressed that you consider this to be hard work, when I've seen it as the cheapest kind of entertainment. You know, like one of those videos of a cat or an otter or hedgehog or something on the internet, just far less cute.
You're horrible.
Now, roll that tongue back into your mouth where it belongs. Anyhow, if you really want to show me some hard work and dedication, I'm upping the ante. From here on out, you'll be upholding our house, as well as Cecilia's house from now until the wedding.
What?
You heard me. That girl is going to be far too busy for that kind of low-class work, and you seem to have an excess of energy and a penchant for lollygagging, so hop to it.
I mean, if she's as amazing as you say she is, and speaking as someone who's quite fond of her myself, can't she handle her own affairs?
Is that in any way to treat your family? I think not. Do you honestly think between the wedding and her job she'll have any time at all to take care of her place? Be realistic.
I am being perfectly realistic, trust me. Do you honestly think with me doing all the chores and everything at our house, I'll have any time to take care of her place too? That sounds pretty unreasonable to me, don't you think?
I don't care what it takes. You're going to get it done, and you're going to get it done properly. Even if that means you have to weasel your way into her apartment every night and make sure her place is spotless. If I tell you to do it, you simply must. Don't even think for a second that this gives you the go-ahead to do anything that would disturb Cecilia from her beauty sleep. You will be as silent as a dormouse, the only way you ought to be all the time.
That's not just unreasonable, that's impossible. I have no idea how you expect me to get even a fraction of that amount of work done unless I was sleeping during the day. Is that what you want me to do?
Now, that has to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard you suggest thus far. In what world would I want my lazy, good-for-nothing daughter-in-law to be sleeping when she could be working? When you drag yourself home from cleaning Cecilia's place, you can expect me to be waiting for you to make us breakfast, then get back to cleaning this house.
But that means I would be working all day and I wouldn't be able to sleep at all. That's too ridiculous. Even for you.
And rest is a privilege, not a right, and you have not nearly earned it, girl.
But I'm already running on fumes. If you continue to push me beyond what I can handle, if I don't sleep, I'll probably just drop dead. You're nothing short of a murderer.
Oh, wonderful. More incessant whining from the useless woman I can't even trust with the most basic of tasks. I did 3 times the amount of work I'm counting on you for when I was your age, and I never gave a single person lip about it. Certainly not my mother-in-law, whose words might as well have been etched into stone tablets as commandments for all I cared. Now, quit messing around and get to work. Kara, you sneaky, slippery, surreptitious little woman, you've really done it now.
What exactly is it that I've done?
You've been shirking your work, you little toad. Cecilia, the pure-hearted woman she is, told you not to worry about cleaning her apartment, didn't she? And you took that to mean you could sleep, didn't you?
Yeah, I sleep. I sort of need to function, you know, the way all humans do. You're the one who told me I couldn't sleep during the day, so I really don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. If your solution is to tell me not to sleep, then again, that's just not really feasible.
Not feasible? Where do you get off with this silver tongue of yours? If I tell you to do something for my daughter, you do it, regardless of what she thinks. Mother knows best, but you two should at least know better. We've got another matter to discuss, however, and I'm hoping this time you'll listen closely and do as you're told. It's about Cecilia's wedding. You see, I was just meeting with her to discuss the reception, and I've come to a decision.
A decision?
You'll be staying at home on the day of the wedding, taking care of everything and keeping it in order for when we return. Got it?
What? Why wouldn't you want me at the wedding?
No matter how docile you might be, and even that is up in the air, I simply can't have a lesser woman like yourself spoiling the atmosphere at my daughter's wedding. For goodness sake, Cara, think of the photos. These are going to be looked at for generations, and I need to put the family's future first.
But Cecilia told me herself she wanted us to be seen together as sisters. Isn't what she wants important?
Of course it's not. She's young, flighty. She'll say any whim or fancy that comes to her. My word is law, unwavering, unsaddled by the ridiculous, reckless abandon that youth brings.
I mean, you say that, and yet Edmund also said he wanted me to be there, so can't you at least listen to a democratic vote? Marcus wants me to come too, of course.
Marcus is a fool, and Edmund, good husband as he may be, is not their true biological father. He can't possibly be able to comprehend the magnitude of importance that comes with protecting their family's image.
But they're on better terms with him than they ever were with their so-called true father. Isn't family about loving each other, not blood? Besides, Edmund goes out of his way to be kind and gentle to you, to do exactly what you say, just like me, and just like Marcus, and just like Cecilia. Isn't it time at least one of us had a say in matters? Isn't it time you were gentle or kind to at least one of us? Him, at the very least?
What makes you believe you can walk into my house and tell me how to treat my family, In what world do you have any right to act like you know better than this house's one true matriarch?
I understand you're upset, but...
But nothing. Silence, you little slime. I don't want to hear a single thing out of your mouth about the way this family should be ever again. You unruly, disrespectful, hideous interloper.
Interloper? I am part of this family, whether you want to admit it or not.
Whatever my son, daughter, or husband think of you, you will always just be a servant to me. And a servant should dutifully uphold the house while the family is away taking care of family matters. If you can't understand that, you have no place here. Why, oh why aren't you doing the one thing I told you to do, Cara? I asked you to stay in the house on the wedding day, and yet I can't seem to find you here. If I find out that you're trying to sabotage the wedding, there will be hell to pay. Mark my words.
Apologies for the scare. Something came up that made me have to leave the house for a bit, that's all?
That's all, What's this something that came up? What could be so important for you to willfully ignore my precise, perfect instructions?
Before that, how did you even know I was out? You left earlier than I did. Did you come back from wherever you went already?
I went to the salon to get my nails and hair done, for your information. The mother of the bride has to be stunning, and I'm willing to rouse myself at even the earliest hours to make that happen.
I see.
But enough of that. I can see you trying to butter me up, and it won't work. Edmund and Marcus won't respond to my messages, and when I called the house phone, I didn't even get an answer from your shrill, wretched voice. That means I know something is afoot.
Something's afoot? Well, if you want me to relay a message to them when I get back, I certainly can.
I'm afraid this is a matter of utmost importance, and one that needs to be kept strictly confidential. You know, a matter between family. Most likely the boys must have gone on ahead to the hotel. Better they're early, otherwise those buffoons would be most certainly late. I was hoping I could count on you to be there, the one thing I ask of you, and yet you fail me again.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Trust me, the time for you to have said that has long since passed. If you really meant it, you would have apologized to me the moment you stepped into my life. Then you would have seen yourself out and opened the door for a better bride for Marcus. Now, let me make this perfectly clear to cast aside any inane thoughts you might have about further disobeying me. If I even catch a hint, a whiff, a glimpse of you appearing at this wedding, I will call the hotel staff and tell them this wedding is off.
Off? You tank what's going to be the happiest moment of your daughter's life, who you claim to obsess over, just to stop me from being with my family? That's monstrous.
Monstrous? I find that very insulting. What I'm doing is heroic and protective. I'll do anything to make sure you don't ruin Cecilia's wedding.
Even if that means you're the one ruining it in the end? That's hypocrisy if I've ever heard of it.
How so? I'm being perfectly truthful. As in, the truth is, you're not part of this family, and I don't want anyone, especially you or my daughter, getting any other idea in their head.
You keep saying things like that as if everyone in this family doesn't already treat me with equal respect.
Do you honestly think I care about the respect you'd be getting from my son? If he's dumb enough to marry you, he's barely worth the time of the day. And Edmund? He's cute, but that's all he is to me. A cute guy with money who keeps me content. He's got no stake in this at all. They're small fries. Men are all fools, and swaying them to your side is practically second nature, even to a woman with your dearth of charms. It's my dear Cecilia who I can't let fall into your clutches, and trick into thinking an ugly thing like you deserves to be anywhere near her.
So that's why you're willing to make this whole thing go up in smoke.
If you're as concerned with her happiness as you claim to be, you won't even think about showing up.
Fine, I understand. You'll have it your way. I won't be seen anywhere near their hotel, and if anyone asks, I didn't want to come anyway. I'll do exactly what you say. No issues or complaints. Is that what you'd like to hear from me, Joyce? My complete submission to you?
Music to my ears. If only you'd been so complacent earlier, we could have avoided this whole train wreck. Do me a favor and get back to the house so we can have food ready to eat tonight when this is all done. Now, I'll be able to enjoy the wedding free of obstacles.
I certainly pray it stays that way.
As if I have any need for your silly little prayers, woman. Your faith means nothing to me, just as you mean nothing to this family. You've disrespected me quite thoroughly, but I'm going to be a gracious, kind mother to you now. I've toyed with the idea of throwing you out on the street, but you'll always have a place in the house as my servant. You can kiss my hand when I get back and tell me how grateful you are, don't worry.
Why, pray tell, should I be grateful for the horrid whims of a deceptive crone like you?
Why, you little... I ought to wash your mouth out with soap, you know that? I'm giving you a roof over your head and a life where you never have to pay rent or bills. But your greedy little hands are always reaching for more. If you had any wits, you would be singing my praises night and day as long as you lived.
Is that really the way the world works in your mind? Sometimes I can't tell if you're joking or not.
In my mind, it's the way the world works, period. You want to hear a joke? You, just a few minutes ago, saying you were going to be free of complaints when it came to me.
Yeah, well, you really test me.
Ha! You wouldn't have to be tested if you merely succeeded. It's not my fault you fail at every chance you get.
I know. When I was preparing to get married to Marcus, I told myself a day would come where you and I could be friends. A day where you and I could see each other truly as mother and daughter. Where you could see how happy Marcus makes me and how I try to do the same for him. A day where you wouldn't have to put your own daughter on a pedestal so high up and makes her want to jump. Clearly, I was mistaken.
You're right. You were mistaken. You were mistaken for thinking that a mutated woman like yourself would ever be seen as anything more than that by a true goddess of beauty like me. In fact, I'd rather die than see you as my daughter, and you can quote me on that.
I hope I do get to quote you, honestly.
Now, I'm running out of time to put you in your place, so I need you to play nice while I'm on my way to the wedding. You'd better make sure not a single dish or fork is out of place in our house when I come home tonight. Toodles! What the devil is going on here? You haven't heard anything from them, have you?
Them? Who are we talking about here? Is something wrong, Joyce?
Don't you Joyce me. Something is definitely, positively, most certainly wrong right now. I'm at the hotel, in the hall where we're supposed to be having the wedding, and there's not a single solitary soul here.
No one? Not even Edmund or Marcus? I thought they left early to go to the hotel together, didn't they?
Not even those boneheads, and certainly not my lovely Cecilia. I'm alone. It's a mess of travesty.
That's odd. I wonder where everyone went off to. Did you already ask the staff or the concierge or someone like that?
Of course I did. They're giving me the cold shoulder, though. And they apparently don't even have a reception booked for today under our family's name.
Well, that's not good.
Not good? Talk about an understatement. This is downright chaotic. Surely you've heard from the boys or Cecilia, so spit it out. What do you know that I don't, Cara?
Well, this is just something I heard casually, but a little bird told me that Cecilia and her husband decided to change the location for the wedding at the last second. I think I might have even heard something about an overseas wedding and flying out all the family for a lovely getaway.
An overseas what? This is the first I'm hearing about any of this. If you really heard about this and you're not making it up, why in the world didn't you tell me sooner?
Well, I hate to admit it, but that's kind of on you.
What are you talking about?
I was fully intending to tell you what I'd heard, but you, as usual, didn't want to hear me out at all. Whenever I tried to engage with you over text or on the phone or in person, you did what you always do and shut me out, put me down, made fun of me. It's not like the rest of us didn't already know about it either. You're the one who pretty much chose to be out of the loop.
Us? Who is this us you're prattling on about?
Marcus, Edmund, and Cecilia. Who else? This is about the wedding, which makes it a family matter, after all. I thought you, of all people, would be able to put that together, Miss Family Comes First.
What? The whole family is conspiring against me?
That's not really how I'd put it. Besides, I didn't know myself until just this morning because of how quickly Cecilia decided to change the plan. That's the real reason I had to leave the house early in the morning, if you were still wondering about that.
There's no way that could be true. How could they turn their backs on me like that?
Well, I think if you try to imagine it from their perspective, it makes it a lot easier. All of us, in our own way, are tired of living under the thumb of the high and mighty mother of this family. This wedding is about Cecilia, not you. Not the family legacy or the future or something. It's about her love and her happiness. Is it really that odd to think she'd choose to find something with a little less oversight and oppression?
You're just speaking complete nonsense now. I am her mother. There is no way she could ever approach being happy having a wedding where I wasn't there to walk her down the aisle. Where is she? I want to speak to her post haste. Someone needs to put some sense into her, and be quick about it, will you?
I'm not following orders from the likes of you any longer, but let me try to explain it to you, since you clearly missed what I said earlier. Cecilia and her husband decided to get married overseas, which means we're, not in the country as we speak. The reason they felt the need to go abroad is so they could be happy without you getting in the way. If anyone needs some sense to be talked into them, at this point, it's clearly you. It's only because you were insistent on pushing everyone down that the original wedding plan fell apart. When Cecilia found out what you told me, she quickly lost a lot of goodwill she'd been holding on to for you. You might not be Ozymandias, but if I was you, I would still look upon your work in despair.
You mean I lost out on my chance to see my daughter be wed because of a stupid, smart-mouthed servant like you?
The fact that you're still trying to pin this on me shows me you're truly a monster. Speaking of which, you're the one who dumped a list of things you wanted Cecilia's husband to buy for the family, aren't you?
So? What's so odd about that? The guy's loaded.
What's odd is the fact that you think it's normal to try shake down your son-in-law when they're not even married yet. And talk about a double standard, right? I'm human trash, apparently, but he's a cash cow, right? I guess either way you slice it, we're just objects to you, so maybe it's not so different after all.
Oh, shut up! This has nothing to do with you. Didn't I tell you to stay far, far away from the wedding, lest it succumb to your infectious idiocy? Please, at the very least, tell me you're scramming from the house once and for all, lest you really wish to evoke my deepest, truest wrath.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you. I've already packed my bags. In fact, I can't stand to be under your gaze any longer.
Oh, thank the heavens. I'll never have to see your face again.
I wouldn't laugh too hard. I mean, my face isn't the only one you won't be seeing anymore.
What's that supposed to mean?
Marcus and Edmund are coming with me.
They're doing what?
That's what they were really up to today, and why they haven't responded to your texts or calls. The three of us have been planning our escape for quite some time now. And now it's all in motion. We all pitched in to get a new place to live, and we're just about ready to depart. Of course, you're welcome to stay at the old house. We don't mind. It is your household, after all.
Wait a second. Where are you all off to? You can't leave me here.
I literally just told you, but we've got a new house. We've been busy packing things up for a while now. I would say I'm surprised you didn't notice, but given how little attention you pay to us, I'll save my breath. Don't worry, we didn't take the fridge or the washer or anything like that, so you should be okay.
Be okay? I'm supposed to do everything myself now? That's what I have you for. And what about money? Aunt Edmund and Marcus is going to support me?
I highly doubt it.
But Edmund is my husband. It's his duty to protect me and love me and care for me in sickness and in health till death do us part.
Speaking of parting, I would check your mailbox for some divorce papers soon. They might have already arrived. If you could just sign those and send them to the courthouse for Edmund's sake, that would be really helpful.
Divorce? Papers? Surely you mean Marcus and your divorce, right?
You're not that dumb, are you? I mean you and Edmund, obviously.
Huh?
Again, how is this shocking to you? Edmund is a good man, and he can't stand to see the abuse you put me, Marcus, or Cecilia through. Of course he loves you, but out of the goodness of his heart, he has to draw the line in the sand somewhere, and you practically drew it for him. He's been planning to leave you for a while now. He was just hoping to wait until after Cecilia was married so it wouldn't sting as much.
Divorce me? That's insane. That's unthinkable.
I think he's pretty sane for thinking it. Besides, it's not like you haven't put him through the verbal and emotional ringer quite a few times. You've been horrible to him. And if you take it to court, I'm sure all four of us would love to testify to your abusive, heinous behavior.
All four? Even my little Cecilia?
How do you think she feels about the fact that you wanted to cancel her wedding just to make you feel better? That's not exactly Mother of the Year material right there.
I was just being threatening, you know. I would never go through with something like that, honest. Please, I can explain all of this. Just let me talk to Marcus and Edmund, at least, okay?
It pains me to say this, but it doesn't seem like those two want anything to do with you at this point. Neither have anything they'd like to say to you, and they would appreciate if you forwarded anything you needed to get off your chest to their lawyer. Otherwise, leave them alone.
Alone? I'm the one being left alone by you ungrateful cretins. I can't live like this, alone, in this old house that's fallen apart. Edmund was supposed to pay for the refurbishing with his retirement money. He'll keep his word at least, won't he?
Oh, I wouldn't really put all my metaphorical eggs in that proverbial basket if I were you.
Why not?
Well, Edmund's retirement money did come through, but the house we bought for the three of us is brand new. Even with Marcus's salary, it took most of Edmund's lump sum to cover the down payment on that place. It's worth it, though. I mean, it's lovely. It's in a nice, quiet neighborhood without any crazy ladies who makes us go days without sleeping. And with the state of the economy, those repairs aren't going to get any cheaper, so I'd hurry. But hey, look on the bright side. With Edmund leaving the house and divorcing you, the house is officially under your name, and your name alone. So please do whatever you please with the house. That's what we'd want.
I can't get anything done without all of you, though.
Really? Oh, that's a shame.
You understand my predicament, so just hurry and come home, will you?
No thanks. You told me to follow your orders, so I'm doing just that. I'm not coming back to that house ever. Well, I'd better be going. Take care, Joyce.
You're kidding me. Come back here this instant. Or better yet, take me to his new house. That'll be good. I'll apologize for everything, I swear, and I'll never say a nasty word to you all ever again. I'll even do all the cooking and cleaning, you'll see. I'll be a dutiful servant to Edmund, to Cecilia, to Marcus, and even to you. Cara, please, just take me back into your family, into our family. I'm begging you.
In the end, Joyce was left alone in a prison of her own design. The house she had once treated as her domain, verbally lashing us when we stepped out of line, became a hollow, lifeless, crumbling labyrinth of solitude for her. She didn't have the heart or money to fight back on the divorce, so on that front, things went exceptionally smoothly. Our lawyer was able to convince the court that this wasn't just a dysfunctional family, but an abusive one, citing her insane demands of me as evidence. The settlement, because of her nefarious actions, was much larger than the usual divorce check, so we ended up getting some literal payback. As for Joyce's financials, she needed to get a part-time job at some factory to help pay off the debt she'd accrued from our time in court. I heard she was pretty clumsy and not all that put together and invoked the ire of her younger co-workers frequently. Ironic, given what she put me through for years. At least they probably didn't call her ugly, though. As you can imagine, the texts from her asking for us to come back and or take her in never stopped flooding in. At some point, I got tired of all the notifications, so I ditched my old phone number and got a new one. Peace and quiet at last. Marcus and I have been living our best life along with Edmund, and we've made a strange but strong bond as a family. I'm so extremely pleased to say that in a few months, I'll be a mother to Marcus, his child. I can't wait for this baby to see the wonderful new life we've made for it, free from the darkness of that woman. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe to see more videos like it soon.
Do you have any idea what you have done? All I did was save a wonderful man that was stuck in a horrible relationship. Man, stuck in a relationship? You think Sean was unhappy with me? I don't think it. I know he wasn't happy with you. Well, thanks to you, now he's free. I broke off our engagement today. Oh, wow! That was quick. Thank you. Now we are finally free to love each other and bring our relationship out into the open. Have you no shame? You are a wedding planner. You cheated with the groom on a wedding that you were working on. I was stunned when I heard that he was cheating on me with the wedding planner. I thought that the both of you must have lost your minds. I'm so horrified and disgusted. Well, yeah. We're only human, and you can't help who you end up falling for. But this was a wedding that you were working on for 6 months. You came with us when we were looking for venues. You smiled at me when we finally decided on one, and you looked so happy for us. But then you went and stabbed me in the back. How could I forget that first day we went looking for venues? That was the day Sean and I met. The first time I laid eyes on him, it sent a shockwave through my body. It was simply love at first sight. I couldn't help it. I had to make him mine. Consequences be damned. I asked him about it later, and he said the same thing. He fell for me then, too. It was just an instant connection. What do you mean you couldn't help it? You just have no self-control. Don't use that as an excuse. Do you know how close Sean and I were to getting married? Of course you do. That was the first question you asked when we had our meeting. You clearly saw what you were doing, and you're not even sorry. You've put me through so much pain. It's so humiliating to have to call off the wedding just days before it was supposed to happen. You were supposed to help me pull off my wedding, not destroy my life. How could you? I put all my faith and trust in you. That just sucks for you. But it turns out he is not just the perfect guy for you, but also for me. And I just so happen to be perfect for him as well. Well, I think the results speak for themselves, don't you? It's so hard to meet a guy that fits all my criteria. So when a guy like him comes along, I wasn't going to let that opportunity slip away. And don't you think you're to blame here as well? You were the one that led him straight to me. So really, you're the one at fault here. At first, it was only a casual fling and just something that Sean and I thought we would just get out of our system. But after 6 months, we knew that it wasn't just a fling. We were in love, and he needed to get away from you. It only took half a year with me to end your relationship with Sean, so don't you think there were problems in your relationship to begin with? You two just weren't meant to be together. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but it wouldn't have ended if it wasn't for you. What about your career? Your reputation as a wedding planner is pretty much finished. No one will want to hire you again. Did you ever think about that? Thanks for the words of concern, but you don't have to worry about me. I can work wherever I want. No one will ever know. Also, my portfolio has grown big enough that I can make it on my own. I don't need to be part of a company. And Sean probably didn't tell you this, but he's going to quit his current job anyway. We're going to move to a place where no one knows us. He's going to get a new job and I'll work on my business. We're going to have a fresh start. He's quitting his job? You guys are going to move in together? While you were happily putting your wedding together, Sean and I were preparing for our future and getting packed. We put this plan together 2 months ago. We were just waiting for the right time to put it into action. He told you he was busy at work, but that was a lie. And the weekend business trips that he claimed he had to go on were a lie too. In reality, we were looking for a place together in another city. You had no idea what was going on, did you? You didn't even suspect a thing. How very sad. You're the worst type of human there is. You both are. Call us any names you want if that makes you feel better. But your engagement is over, and we're almost ready to move to our new place. I'll be living the life with Sean that you dreamed of having. This goes without saying, but you're quite clueless, so I'll tell you straight up. We're not going to tell you where we're moving. We don't want you to stalk us or anything. We would really appreciate it if you just left us alone. You think I'm going to stalk you guys? We don't want anything in our lives that will remind us of the past, and I don't know what you plan to do, so let this also be a warning. As for all the wedding plans, though, rest assured they won't go to waste. I'll be using it as a sample plan to show my future clients. It'll be a great reminder to me that you never know what the future will bring. Oh, look at the time. It's getting late already. I've still got some things I need to do today, so I've got to run. Thanks for taking care of Sean until now. I'll take it from here. Bye. Sean, is it true that you're quitting your job and moving to another city? Are you crazy? What does it matter to you? It's none of your business anymore what I do with my life. We're not engaged anymore, and our relationship has ended already. We already said what we needed to say this morning. We're done. There's no reason that you should contact me anymore. I don't have anything to say to you. That's what you think. You cheated on me with the wedding planner. You ruined our relationship and the wedding we were planning. And what about it? Did you think you two can just get away with it? We talked about having you pay for all the fees incurred because of the wedding, but you never told me that you were going to move. You're not thinking about skipping town and not paying, are you? Damn, you figured that out quicker than I thought. Oh man. I was kind of hoping I was wrong and you weren't such a piece of trash. Helena and I both quit our jobs and are moving. Neither of us have jobs right now, so we don't have any money. All the money we did have went to moving expenses. We can't pay for anything right now. So I was hoping that we'd be gone before the bills start coming in. Are you kidding me? You were just going to leave me to pay for all the cancellation fees? You need to pay for them since it's your fault that we are no longer getting married. Just as I was thinking that you couldn't get any worse as a human being, you go and do something to prove me wrong. You better take full responsibility for what you've done, or else there's going to be hell to pay. Sorry, but no dice. I can't give you any money when there's no money to be given. Besides, Helena and I are going to need every penny from now on for our new life together. You're just going to have to figure this out on your own. Figure it out on my own? Why the hell would I need to do that? I don't care about the money problems you and that woman have. You need to pay me what I'm owed. What? But don't you want me to be happy? Why would I want you to be happy? You cheated on me. That's the last thing I want for you right now. Oh, I get it. You're not over me yet. You still want to cling on to me, right? I suggest you redirect all that energy to something else. How about you go and find yourself a new man to obsess over? You're almost 30. Your time is running out. Make sure you can hold him down this time, okay? Oh, get over yourself already. Anyone I meet from now on will be better than you. Only human scum like you would cheat on their fiancé, and I'm better off without you. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Good luck with that. We're done here, right? Because I don't want to hear from you again. I'm going to block you now. Don't try to stalk me, okay? That's just creepy. I won't even hesitate to call the cops on you if I see you near my place. I will never stalk you, so no need to look over your shoulder for me. You're free to do whatever you want, but I need you to own up to your responsibilities and pay me. That means all the cancellation fees and the settlement we talked about for all the pain and suffering I went through. You also need to pay me for your half of the honeymoon trip that we were supposed to go on. I just told you like a minute ago that I can't pay for any of it. I don't have any money right now, and I told you why already. I've got my own bills to pay already. Stop pestering me about it. Not going to do that. I'm not letting you go just like that. You're the one that needs to figure out how you're going to pay me back. Yeah, so I cheated, but you made me do it. So you're at fault too. This wasn't even the first time. I don't even know how many times I did it off the top of my head. But you never suspected a thing. What did you say? Not the first time? Let's see now. I cheated on you right after we started dating. When I proposed, I was seeing someone else, and even after we were engaged. But before I met Helena, I was cheating on you with another woman. I had side pieces throughout our entire relationship. You just couldn't tie me down. How could you? Why are you telling me all this now? You should have taken that with you to the grave. Any decent person wouldn't have said anything. I just want to deter you from trying to get me back. But hey, there's one thing that you should be happy about. You're the first person that I proposed to. Congratulations for that. By the way, I'm going to need the ring back. I need the money. Like that would make me happy. I feel like the biggest idiot in the world. And you're not getting the ring back. It's a gift, and I don't need to give it back to you. Fine. The money's spent anyway. Just consider it as payment for whatever it was that you wanted me to pay. That settles it. I don't owe you anything. We can be out of each other's lives now, and I can start my new life. I hope we don't see each other again. Take care. Wait, we're not done. You owe me more than the cost of the ring. Sean? Sean, you won't get away with this! Hello. I'm in charge of planning Colin and Jenny Foster's wedding that will take place next month. Is this Kaylee Norman? Yes, I'm Kaylee Norman. I wasn't really expecting to hear from the wedding planner, though. How can I help you? Oh, so it really is you, Kaylee. Isn't this just a blast from the past? I thought it was you when I saw your name, but I wanted to check to make sure. Isn't this a surprise? I'm sorry, do I know you? Why did you message me again? Oh, where are my manners? This is Helena Lang. Well, it's actually Helena Irvins now, since I married Sean. Do you remember me now? Maybe this will help. I'm the one that stole your fiancé 3 years ago. Oh, you're that Helena. Yes, that's me. I'm glad I was able to jog your memory. I never dreamed that we would cross paths again. Can't say that I can say the same thing for you two. I've been looking for you and Sean for the past 3 years. I thought we told you not to stalk us. But that's all in the past now. You must have gotten over it by now. Sean and I are happily married, and we're both doing very well for ourselves. Really? But you're still a wedding planner? Of course I am. It's what I love doing. I've always wanted to be a wedding planner, and I worked hard to make the dream come true. I'm very good at my job. I wouldn't have been able to tell since you were the one that caused me to cancel my wedding. That was 3 years ago. Are you still bitter about it? It was, but you're still rubbing it in my face. So, what's this about? You're in charge of the Foster wedding next month? And? Since we do have a history with each other, there's no point in beating around the bush. As the planner, I don't want you at the wedding. So please don't show up to the Foster wedding. What the hell are you saying? You're just the wedding planner. You don't get to decide who comes to the wedding. I was invited, so of course I'm going to go. I'm going to tell you a little secret. You were most likely invited just so that the wedding can be an even number. But don't worry, you don't have to come. What do you mean? Don't you know? Colin Foster is also in the bridal industry. He's actually at the top. Our venue works for his company. He's the grandson of the president of our parent company, too. His father also owns his own company, and we usually work directly with his father. What I'm trying to say here is that the bride really struck gold when she got engaged to this family. She won't have to work for the rest of her life. I still don't see your point. I was invited by the bride, but I can assure you that I'm not just filling a seat. Wow, you sound super confident, but trust me, I'm in the know. Since the groom is super well known, he has to invite a lot of people. So the bride also has to invite the same number to keep up appearances. You're just occupying a seat, honey. You're not important. What a lucky bride to be able to marry up way above her own class. This wedding is the first one I've done where there is such a big difference in social status. I bet you anything the bride was just scrambling to come up with people to invite. Seems like you're just judging people based on appearances and almost zero facts. I do have my facts. I've worked around the groom's father. This isn't just a normal wedding for me. If everything goes well, then things are going to change for me. I'll be well known. People will be waiting for months to have me plan their wedding. I'll also get more and more high-profile weddings. I'll be famous. I don't mind telling you our backstory because the status quo isn't going to last long after the Foster wedding. Sean is working in the same company as me. He works at the office. But we're both going to get promoted. Everything is just going to keep going up from here. Jenny did tell me that she was going to have her wedding at Diamond Fountain Hotel for her wedding reception. I didn't know you worked there. Every woman who lives in this city wants to have their wedding here. It's a beautiful venue, and they host more than just weddings. But it isn't cheap to do anything here. I just can't get over how lucky your friend is to have her wedding here. How unfortunate for you that you won't be able to be here to see it yourself. What the hell? Why are you barring me from a wedding? Like I said, I need this wedding to be perfect. I can't have someone like you coming to ruin everything for me. I've worked too hard and too long on this for that to happen. To be frank, your track record for weddings is bad. So you're nothing but bad luck. If you come, you're going to ruin everything. I'm bad luck? Yeah. You lost your fiancé days before your wedding. The same thing can't happen for this one. It's for your sake as well as for the sake of the wedding. So I can't have you anywhere near it. Consider your invitation rescinded. Putting your stupid reason aside, I'm not going to do what you say. Who goes is up to Jenny and her fiancé. Your name isn't on the invitation, so you don't have a say in the matter. I do. This is my project, and I'm doing my damnedest to protect it from any and all threats. I see you as a threat that needs to be removed. My future depends on this one wedding, so I can do whatever I want. What on earth? So you're just going to ignore what your clients want? I'm not ignoring them. I have their best interest at heart here. Their wedding is going to happen whether you're there or not. They won't even notice that you're not there, so they won't even know that I've adjusted the guest list. Adjusted? You have no idea what you're talking about. Hey! I just noticed something. You sort of look like the bride. You're both plain and boring. Lucky for Jenny, though. I'm already very happily married, or else. Well, I'm sure you know better than anyone. Imagine that. Me messing with the wedding of the grandson of a major company in the industry. That would be very bad. So I'm just going to do my job and make this wedding celebration a great success. But seriously, have you seen the dress that Jenny is planning to wear? It's just so ugly and plain. It doesn't fit with the venue at all. I guess it's fitting for her, though. It's just like her in appearance and personality. Actually, it looks close to the dress that you chose for your failed wedding. I remember that I was trying very hard to keep a straight face when you showed it to me. I was trying so hard not to laugh at you. That was my mother's wedding dress. I was in the middle of redesigning it. Ew! Yeah, that's not a trend I got behind. A new bride should get a new dress. I've only seen Jenny's dress in pictures. It's just a slightly bit better than yours. She is trying to modernize it a bit, but I still think it's off. A wedding dress is something a woman only plans to wear once in her lifetime. The bride's opinion should be the only one that counts. All her memories of the day will be encompassed in that dress. For you to put a dress down like that is very inappropriate, especially for someone that is in the bridal business. You should know how important the dress is. That's your opinion, and I don't care what you think. It's time to wrap this up. I'm a busy woman. I have other weddings to plan too. So I'm just going to put you down as not coming, okay? End of discussion. I'm going to tell my coworkers and staff to watch out for you as well. Everyone will be well aware that you aren't welcome. I'm also going to get rid of your placement at the table. Wait, this isn't the end of the discussion. You can't do that. I'm going to make it seem like you aren't invited at all, and no one will suspect a thing. So, don't even bother showing up. You'll just be turned away at the door. That's just going to be embarrassing. And if I see you, I'm going to personally escort you out myself. Could you listen to me for a minute? You're going to make a fool of yourself. Helena. Hey! I thought I warned you not to show your face here. I said that I was going to personally escort you out myself if you showed up. I was officially invited. And I erased your name from the guest list. You don't have a reason to be there. Your bad luck of losing your fiancé before your wedding is going to give bad juju to the wedding. Just by that fact alone, you shouldn't be there. Losers like you need to stay home. Fine, but don't blame me if anything happens to you. Huh? What? You think you're that important? If you're going to throw me out, then something bad is going to happen to you. Is that supposed to be a threat? Because that's not threatening at all. Nothing happened to me for kicking you out of your own wedding. Nothing's going to happen to me now. This wedding is going to be perfect. I'll make sure of that. Pulling this off will make me the best wedding planner in town. Well then, I'm here to burst your bubble, because now the president of your company and all the executives know what you did 3 years ago. No, that's impossible. There's no way you were able to tell them. You're just a filler. You can't even get close to them. How is a nobody like you able to even talk to them? I tried to tell you many times. I'm not just a filler for this wedding. I'm related to the bride. Jenny is my sister-in-law. Sister-in-law? How? When did you become her sister-in-law? When I got married earlier this year. Jenny is my husband's sister. If you were worth anything as a wedding planner, I imagine you would have been able to figure that out. If you took a good look at the seating chart, you would have seen that I'm seated in the family of the bride table. How could you not notice while you were taking me off the list? I didn't cross your name off. I let one of my coworkers do that for me while I attended to more important things. I'm going to look at it now. You have to be lying. Wait, but it says that you're coming to the ceremony alone. So you did lie. You don't have a husband. I do. He needed to travel overseas on an urgent business trip, so I'm attending the wedding alone today. I wasn't informed about that at all. My husband was so sad that he'll be missing his little sister's wedding. He would have done anything to see Jenny in the dress that he had custom designed for her. There will only ever be one dress that will be made in that exact design. He made sure that everyone in the bridal dress industry can never do the same design ever again. Your husband designed the dress? Yes. My husband designs dresses. Mainly wedding dresses. Maybe you've heard of him. Wilson Crawford of Crawford Dresses and Evening Wear. Of course I've heard of him! You can't be in this industry without knowing what Crawford dresses are! I work in the fashion industry myself, so that was how I met him. We dated for 2 years and got married. You're in the fashion industry too? That's why you were going to redesign your mother's dress? Yeah, now you're getting it. I'm also in charge of inventory for all the dresses that he designs. I can see which venue orders which dress and what retailers order. I can also approve and deny orders. We have our own retail shop and we definitely do carry Crawford dresses. Yes, I am fully aware of that, since I'm the one that signs off on the orders. Since your venue had always had close ties with my husband's business, we always offered hefty discounts and exclusive designs. Close ties? Wilson is best friends with Colin. They went to college together. That's how Jenny met Colin. Jenny and Colin are sad that Wilson can't make it, so I have to be there no matter what. Wait, if your husband is friends with the groom and they went to college together, that would mean that you've mingled with all the top management in my company as well. You're the wife of the grandson's best friend. You're making it more confusing by putting it like that. You can just say that we are all friends, but soon to be family. We all gather for dinner at least once a month. You were saying how Jenny and Colin didn't seem to be a good match for each other, but you've never seen them like I have. They are perfect together. But even if you put their personalities aside, they're a match made in heaven. Colin, being the future of venue management, and Jenny, coming from a family that does formal wear. Their match will be joining two sides of the industry together. How come I never heard about this before? I've never met Jenny until now. I don't know why you didn't make the connection. Jenny and Wilson share the same last name. And you're also a part of it. This can't just be a coincidence. It is all just a coincidence. I had no idea you and Sean moved here. I had pretty much forgotten about you two until you messaged me. Thanks for reaching out because I finally found you. Why? What are you planning to do with us? All I'm asking for is the money that you owe me for the cancelled wedding 3 years ago. And Sean's half of the money for the honeymoon we would have went on, as well as a public apology to me. I contacted my lawyer and he will be at the wedding. He will serve you the papers. You can ask my lawyer for the details. You can't do that. Too much time has already passed. There is no statute of limitations when the other party already agreed to pay for the fees. I'm just suing to get the rest of it. We don't have any money to pay that. We didn't then and we don't now. But aren't you both employed full-time? Yeah, but we also have a lot of expenses, so we don't have any money saved. I bet some of those expenses are for the women that Sean sees on the side. What women? What? You don't know? Sean is a serial cheater. He was cheating on me throughout our entire relationship. He hasn't stopped cheating just because he got married. I didn't know that. I thought I was his only one. He told me about it himself the last time I talked to him, so I'm not wrong. I don't know how many, though. How could he do this to me? It's not about you. Once a cheater is always a cheater. I did a little digging once I figured out where you guys are, and it does seem like he is seeing someone else. He's cheating on me right now? What should I do? That's a problem between you two. Talk to him about it. All I want is my money. I don't even need the apology anymore. You guys are a flight risk, so I'm going to ask the court to garnish your wages wherever you go until I am paid in full. With that being said, Jenny and Colin have nothing to do with this. I don't want anything to get in the way of their happiness. We'll talk more after the wedding. It's time to go in. You're going to let me through, right? It's time already? If I'm not there, they are going to be very upset. Then they are going to be extremely angry when they find out that I was kept away. All I have to do is give Jenny a quick call and tell her parents that the wedding planner is trying to throw me out. Do you want to wait and see what will happen? Wait a minute. I need a minute to think about what I should do right now. I could also tell Colin's father and grandfather. They should be here soon. You work for them, right? They do manage the company you work for and the venue that we are in. They also know what you did, and there's no point in hiding it when I have all the evidence already. So really, it doesn't matter what you come up with. It's not going to end well for you. That means I'm done for. That sounds right. So if you'll excuse me, I have a wedding to go to. If you try any funny business, your employment here won't be the only thing that will be on the line. I'll make it so that you'll never be able to work in this industry ever again. I can't believe you know our president! Believe it or not, it's true. My husband is good friends with Colin, and Colin is marrying his sister. I also met the Foster family that way as well, and we all get along so well together. So from now on, we're going to have even more family gatherings. No matter what happens to you, the Foster family and the Crawford family will continue to do business together. You've ruined my dream! No, you did that yourself. I really need to go now. The venue is starting to fill up. Wait! You can go in, but you have to promise me that you won't tell anyone else. I apologize for what happened 3 years ago. I love working here. This wedding is super important to me. It's going to change my life. So please, forgive me and let me keep my job and career here. Please promise me that it's going to be okay. If what you did was a small transgression, I probably would have. But it wasn't. But I can't forgive you, and I can't let it go. You still owe me. Please, you have to. Sean and I both work at this company. We can't both be out of a job. We won't be able to live if we don't work. It's going to take so long before we can find something that pays this well. Please, Kaylee, have some mercy on us. Kaylee. Please, don't take my dreams and happiness away. I didn't respond to any more of Helena's messages after that because the ceremony was about to start. I guess Helena was really scared about her future. She was out of it when I saw her. She even dropped the stack of wedding brochures that she was handing out. She was so flustered she couldn't even pick them up, and eventually one of her coworkers had to take over for her while she went to get a glass of water. The wedding was beautiful and really well done. I could see why Helena thought that this would have been her big break. But I didn't see her after that. She went to another room and started calling lawyers. She told me that the lawyer told her that it would be futile to fight the case, but it was possible to negotiate a reduction in the amount that was owed. I don't think I'm willing to entertain the idea of a reduction, but I'll let the lawyers do their thing. After the wedding, Jenny was fired because of her history of stealing a client's fiancé. The Fosters didn't want a wedding planner with that reputation. Sean was also let go because he ran away from his responsibilities 3 years ago, and management thought that wasn't trustworthy. Also, it turns out that Sean really was cheating on Helena, so now she's filing for divorce. She moved out of the house that they were living in together. Helena's bad reputation spread throughout the state, then throughout the country. I think it's safe to say that she'll never work in the industry ever again. The judge granted me the right to garnish Sean's wages for what he owed me. It might take a while since he doesn't have a job now, but I'm okay with that. I'm just glad that I got justice and closure. I can finally breathe and leave the past behind me. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.
You're Emma, aren't you? You've got some nerve stealing my dad away from me. Excuse me? My dad told me that you're the person he's going to marry. Okay? Who do you think you are? You think you can just marry my dad without telling me? Can you call yourself an adult when lacking that much common sense? I'll never accept you as a mother.
Hold on. Who do you mean by my dad exactly? Who are you?
Are you kidding me?
Are you by some chance Robert's daughter?
Yes, it's me, Courtney. I'm his one and only child. Don't play stupid with me.
Hold on, I don't believe this. I haven't heard anything about this.
What now?
Robert has a child. He didn't say a word about having children. Although he did say he'd been married once. I never imagined he actually had a child as well.
Don't act like you didn't know. You don't just marry someone without knowing they have children. So what? Were you planning to just pretend like I don't exist?
No, that's not it at all.
Listen here. I am 100% against you marrying my dad. If you were some young, beautiful girl, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But I can't believe he would want to marry some old failure that couldn't find a man her whole life.
Who are you calling a failure?
An old hag like you is not a good match for my dad. Don't get ahead of yourself just because he decided to remarry. As his daughter, I oppose your marriage, so do me a favor and just take a hike.
Are you serious?
My dad says he's still planning to go through with the wedding, even though I told him what a reject you are. But sorry, I won't accept that. So cancel that wedding as soon as possible. And get out of his life entirely while you're at it.
Robert, what's going on? I just got a message from your daughter.
What? You talked to Courtney?
Tell me what's going on. This is the first time I've heard anything about a child.
Emma, I'm so sorry.
I'd rather an explanation than an apology.
Okay, well, I know I should have told you before, but it's true that I have a daughter. Her name is Courtney, and she turns 20 this year.
So this must be the daughter from your last marriage. Who has custody?
It was joint custody, but she's 20 now, so she lives by herself.
I see. Why would you hide something so important?
Look, I'm really sorry. I was thinking you probably wouldn't want to get involved with me if you found out I had a daughter. Up until this point, I've met a lot of good people. But the moment they find out I have a daughter, they get turned off.
So you think it's okay to just get married while hiding the fact that you have a child?
But I told you, didn't I? Courtney is already 20 years old. She's already graduated high school and is quite independent.
So what? Does that mean it's okay to keep it a secret and marry me?
No, that's not what I meant.
Did you think you could hide it forever? Your daughter contacted me and she was quite aggressive. She said that she objects to the wedding and she wants me to break up with you as soon as possible.
Look, just let me sort things out with Courtney. I'm the reason things have turned out this way. I know I can bring her around about the whole marriage.
Do you think that's the issue here? Robert, listen. I know this is going to hurt you, but I think I need some time to think about this.
What do you mean?
There's a difference between marrying someone knowing they have a child and marrying someone who is lying about not having a child. I haven't prepared myself for this development. I know we're officially together, but I need to think about what lies from this point.
Wait, don't tell me. Are you actually talking about breaking up?
To be honest, I wouldn't say there's no chance of that happening.
I can't believe this. Please don't make this decision so quickly. The wedding is just around the corner. We're already halfway through preparations for the honeymoon as well.
I see where you're coming from, but can you expect me to still marry you after finding this out? Even the thought of living together is putting me off.
Please don't say things like that. We're already committed to each other. And as my future wife, don't you think you should act a little more like it?
Are you serious right now?
Isn't this wedding the moment you've been waiting for? It's such a waste to think about breaking up after coming this far.
In what way is this the moment I've been waiting for?
Exactly as it sounds. Finally, you'll no longer be a single 40-year-old. I mean, don't you remember how happy you were when I proposed to you?
Are you kidding me right now?
What do you think will happen if we break up? You'll just go back to being a single, miserable 40-year-old.
Did you just call me miserable?
Do you really think being a single 40-year-old is a better outcome? Not only that, but a 40-year-old who ran off right before her wedding? There's no chance anyone would want to date someone like that.
Excuse me?
With that in mind, is it really a good idea to break up with me? I would say no, but that's just me.
I can't believe that's how you think about me.
It's so obvious that breaking up is the stupid move to make here. Especially when the reason is just because you found out that I have a child from a previous marriage. Like, how petty can you get, really?
Right, let's make this clear. This isn't up to you at all. This is my decision to make.
I'm begging you, don't make such a big deal out of this. Courtney is already 20 years old. She doesn't need to be raised like a child. I know I can turn her around to be more approving of the wedding. Just wait, please.
I gotta say, you're a bold one, Emma.
Excuse me?
Today's the big day. You finally get your wedding. Even after being told countless times to break up with him, you're still going along, acting like nothing happened.
Sorry, I don't think I follow you, Courtney.
Not only that, but you didn't even have the decency to send me an invitation. Having a wedding without inviting the groom's daughter really is quite something, you know that?
Courtney, there's something you should know about the wedding.
If you're gonna give me excuses, I don't want to hear it.
What do you mean excuses?
I have a really clear picture of what type of woman you are. You're the type of lowlife that treats your husband's child like an obstacle in their way. For that reason alone, there's no way I could let my dad marry someone like that.
It's not your decision to make, but okay.
I told you over and over not to marry him, but in the end, you're still going through with it. That's actually quite scummy. But I have some bad news for you. If you were thinking everything was gonna go as planned, think again.
What are you talking about?
It looks like someone has gone and ripped that dress you were supposed to wear today to shreds!
What?
Not just the dress, but the entire venue is absolutely trashed. All the flowers have been completely destroyed as well.
Oh my God.
Well, it serves you right. This is what happens when you try and marry my dad behind my back. Enjoy your wedding in a shredded dress and a dumpster of a hall.
Sorry to tell you, but I'm not getting married today.
Wait, what? What do you mean you aren't getting married today?
Just like I said, I don't actually have any plans today at all.
What are you saying? You do know that my dad did tell me the wedding was today, right?
When you say your dad told you, when was that exactly?
Like 2 weeks ago. It was right before I messaged you. I tried to get him to call it off right then and there, but he wouldn't listen. He said the wedding was in 2 weeks and I would just have to accept it because he wasn't going to cancel it. That's why I messaged you.
Okay, I'm beginning to see what happened here.
What do you mean, what happened?
I hate to break this to you, Courtney. About a week after that, we called the wedding off. Robert and I broke up.
What now? You actually broke up?
Yeah, I decided to break up with him.
Oh.
What do you mean, oh? This is what you wanted all along, right?
No, that is true. It's just you decided faster than I thought I guessed. Actually, I didn't really think you'd break up in the first place.
Of course I would. I really didn't know Robert had a child. Not that I had a problem with you. Well, in theory at least. In reality, you're quite unpleasant. But my main issue was just that I couldn't believe he'd hide something like that from me. I felt completely lied to. Your father tried to change my mind. He asked me if I was really prepared to go back to being a single 40-year-old. Right at that moment, I realized there was a part of him looking down on me, and I lost all interest in him.
Wait, you broke up with him over something like that?
In times like this, the best thing to do is listen to your heart. If he's hiding his own child at this stage, the likelihood he'll hide something down the line is high. If you're in a relationship where you can't share important things with each other, there's no reason in getting married, right?
I guess I understand a little bit where you're coming from. Even so, I'm amazed Dad took the breakup so easily.
Slow down, I didn't say he took it easily.
He didn't?
He begged me to stay with him when he saw I was serious, but like I said, it was just too late. We're both already quite old, and I don't have any time to be wasting with people who are going to lie to me and look down on me.
Really? So you just blew him off just like that?
I sure did. I'm sorry to tell you, but he cried his eyes out.
Oh no.
So now you're starting to worry about others apart from yourself? Our plans for the wedding have already been canceled. Despite that you've destroyed someone else's dress and ruined their venue. So, Courtney, whose wedding did you just ruin?
Oh no.
Completely destroying a wedding venue is a pretty big deal. Just so you know, if the police get involved in this, I have nothing to do with it.
Oh no! You're right. I just destroyed someone's wedding. Whose was it? Whose wedding did I just wreck?
How am I supposed to know?
What should I do? I thought that was my dad's wedding. I would never have done something like this to anyone else.
Don't you think it would be best to go and turn yourself in? If you don't, the police are going to get involved and it'll turn into a bigger ordeal.
Police? No way. What do you think? If I apologize, would they let me off the hook? Maybe they'll forgive me if I get on my knees and beg.
You can only hope for the best. But the world isn't that kind.
I'm not going to be taken away by the police, right? This was just a careless mistake. No one told me you guys broke up in the first place. So there's no way they could arrest me, right?
You're asking the wrong person. I'll leave it at that, considering I've split up with your father and this has nothing to do with me.
Please hear me out, Emma. Courtney just made a huge error in judgment. She was under the impression we were still getting married and absolutely destroyed the venue.
I've already heard that from the culprit herself.
Courtney talked to you?
She was boasting about how much damage she did. She ripped off the wedding dress and all the flowers as well.
Really? That girl?
But she then became quite anxious after I told her we'd split and already canceled the wedding.
So that's what happened.
In my last message to her, I told her to go and apologize. So I wonder what happened after that.
I'll tell you what happened. I got a desperate message from my daughter saying the owners of the hall are asking her to pay damages.
Well, you couldn't expect anything less than that. How much for the damages?
It's about $140,000.
Wow.
Not only that, if we don't pay today, they're gonna contact the police. Apparently, the chairs and tables took a lot of damage, so that's added to the charges. Not only that, but the dress was quite an expensive one too. Altogether, the damages work out to be $140,000.
That could be a little bit of an issue.
This is more than a little issue. So that's why I'm begging you, Emma. Please help us get out of this pickle.
Excuse me?
You got cash, right? Please, we need your help.
So what if I've got money? Why should I help you after you lied to me and insulted me?
If you help us out, Courtney said she will approve of us getting married.
Okay, and?
Doesn't that work out for everyone? You help and you'll be in good graces with Courtney. Not only that, but we can marry unopposed. It's a happy ending for everyone.
I'm so disgusted I'm basically speechless. Goodbye.
Emma, please! My dad told told me everything. You're a doctor earning over $210,000 a year, right?
Ugh, what now?
Please, I need your help. The damages for the hall are so high.
I've already said no to your father.
I'm begging you to have a change of heart. Not only will I be okay with you marrying Dad, I'll even call you Mom.
You think any of that is worth $140,000 to me? If that's what you think, your head is emptier than I thought.
Why?
I'm just an old rejected 40-year-old, right? You don't want to give someone like that your precious dad, right? There's no need to change your mind so easily.
Well, actually,
I'm washing my hands of this whole thing. Good luck finding $140,000.
oh no, wait! Please wait. Don't worry about the money, but please don't go.
What now?
Look, I'm really serious when I say you don't need to worry about the money, so I'm begging you on this one. Could you come with me to the venue?
You mean the one you just destroyed?
Yes.
And why in the world would I want to do something like that?
If you can just come and tell the bridegroom this was all a big mistake, that would mean a lot to me. Just convince them this wasn't some revenge tactic against them.
Huh? What do you mean? Is there any point in me explaining that?
If there wasn't a point, I wouldn't be asking you to help me. Please come.
You've got no connection to the bride and groom, right? If all you've done is make a mistake, why would they think this is a revenge tactic?
Well, actually, I'm lightly acquainted with them. That's why there's this big misunderstanding.
Oh, God. You actually know the bride and groom of this wedding.
That's what I'm telling you. I know them. Not only that, the groom is actually my ex-boyfriend.
The plot thickens.
I broke up with him about half a year ago. We were living together with the intention of getting married, but I didn't clean up enough and he kicked me out. Then straight after that, he got a new girlfriend. They're getting married before even living together or anything.
Okay, is that it?
Around that time, I heard about Dad getting married. As you know, I went a little ballistic. I'm already 20, so it's not like I really care about who my dad gets married to. But still, it creeped me out and I decided to go against the wedding.
You mean to say you were basically against the wedding for no reason?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be that serious, but at the end you guys actually broke up. Then the wedding I destroyed just happened to be my ex-boyfriend's.
Sometimes these coincidences happen, I guess.
Right? It seems like my ex and his new girl wanted to get married as soon as possible. Thanks to you canceling the wedding, they were able to get the hall for quite a low price.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. For those with a short relationship wanting a quick marriage, the timing and price couldn't be more perfect.
Exactly. I honestly didn't know. Despite that, my ex-boyfriend really thinks I was out for revenge. He's saying I destroyed the wedding out of jealousy. He's even threatening to sue me for the damages.
Oh dear.
That's on top of the money for the damages to the hall. How's anyone meant to pay for that? Not only that, my ex is demanding $25,000.
Isn't that a little over the top?
Exactly. I don't have that type of money. That's why I'm begging you to help me. Please come and tell them the situation. Tell them it's all just a coincidence.
Sorry, but that's a no.
What?
This is annoying. I don't want to get involved in this any further.
Are you kidding me? Wait just a second. Are you gonna just abandon your own daughter?
Who's this supposed daughter? I don't have a husband, nor do I have a daughter.
Don't say such things, and please just help me out here. I really only have you to rely on.
Actually, the only one you can rely on is your father. I tell you what, if I remember tonight, I'll say a little prayer that your ex doesn't sue you. Now, goodbye and good luck.
This can't be real. Wait. I'm begging you, don't throw me away.
It seems Robert managed to sell whatever bits and pieces he had to pay for the damages in full. He sold whatever he had in his possession, including his nice watches and even his car, and also dipped into his savings. As for the lawsuit, after apologizing profusely and repeatedly, Courtney convinced her ex-boyfriend that it was a misunderstanding. However, she was still forced to pay around $21,000 since the fact of the matter was that she still spoiled the wedding. Courtney complained quite a bit about that, saying how she really didn't plan it and it was all just a big misunderstanding. But she was still forced to pay. Afterwards, I heard she started buying strange pots and beads after searching for ways to rewind time. I hope she has more luck with that than she did weaseling out of her lawsuit. Thank you very much for listening to the very end. If there's anyone that liked this video or got a good laugh from it, please leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe.